30 years, dude.
Isn't that crazy? I do want to clarify the 30 years. The Elite Series has been around for only so many years, right? I'm starting this count at the moment that I literally said to myself, this is what I want to do, and I want to enter a professional event. It's hard to believe it was 30 years ago, but it was 1995. Honestly, like, remember the anxiety and excitement that goes with that. Driving from New Jersey to Hartwell Lake, which was all new, and you know, you get there knowing that you're entering this event not as an amateur, which I had done in the past before that, but as a pro. I had an average tournament, you know, a middle of the pack finish. But dude, the thing that I remember was the drive home. Disappointed and frustrated, feeling that, but then feeling, oh, I'm gonna go out and do better. Yeah, and I think back at that a lot, and you know, it's like the scariness surrounding it, and the grappling with failure that you have to be able to handle. It does make you who you are in the end. We're sitting here and I'm jacked up. Dude, I can feel the flutters. How's it possible 30 years later? I'm imagining the run and getting to the spot and the first hook, like, dude, that is still in me. If it's in your core and it's in your soul, nothing else matters except that experience of going fishing. And dude, that, for me, that's been there for so long, Eric, like, I can't even remember a time when it didn't exist.
Hook.
Go through this little edge here one more time where this little deeper water is with how I was catching them. And if I don't see a big one in like 20 minutes, I gotta go. First hour, dude, I tried fishing practice. I really was in this area, then I felt so good about the layout of this area, and I believed there was a concentration of fish here. I fished for an hour without a fish because I was fishing how I fished in practice. And eventually I started just trying other stuff, and I throw a weightless wacky rig on a spinning rod. Had no intentions of doing that. That was gonna be my canal bait when I got to the canals. Dude, there's pads and there's roots and there's stems and I don't want to throw a spinning rod here, but I throw a spinning rod and like instantly 3 casts after picking it up, I get bit. Catch a keeper, catch another. So it was nice because I started fishing the moment. I started adjusting. Every fish I'm catching is pound to pound and a half. I had 1 2-pounder, one maybe pound and 3/4, and everything else is 12, 13 inches. As I'm exiting, dude, I look up and the sun comes out and the clouds start dissipating. And literally like on cue, I throw to the same thing I've been throwing to with that wacky rig and hook a 4-pounder.
Bionic arm got him.
In the course of a day, you're gonna have moments that dictate the rest of the day. And sometimes those moments are, you know, positive things, you know, a fish catch that changes the direction of the day. But sometimes it's a fish loss.
Oh no. No!
We talked a lot about things that have been constant over the 30 years. But for me, some things have changed. Honestly, like, I'm proud of this, is that I recover from a fish loss quicker and better, and I'm able to work through it 30 years later better than I did early on in my career. A fish loss like that would have killed me. I would have been crushed, and I would have spun out and went and ran some other spot and not caught and I would have come in with 11 pounds. But, you know, like, when I lost that big one, I had just caught a big one, and it was like, yes, I let a big fuck out. No!
That's a big one. All right, staying.
You know, I let, fuck! But got rid of it, and then said, dude, a bite window has opened up. I gotta get that past, and I gotta keep going. And, you know, dude, like 20, 30 minutes later, that sun came out, and I hooked that 6/8.
On the pads again.
Dealing with the loss and getting over it quick and accelerating on to get to a better place. Dude, if you could figure out how to do that every time, you're going to be a better fisherman, you know?
You're going to be a better human.
You're going to be a better human.
I love you, man. Thanks for hanging with me today. Thank you. I love you, man. Yeah. 6-pounder. I can't even do the because my arm hurts.
Good call to stay, bro.
Stay the course.
Stay calm. Calm and composed.
We're staying to the bitter end. We're not going to canals or doing shit. Oh boy. I have a respiratory issue. I better check my leader though. Yeah, that's no good. Is it 12:30?
Yeah. Actually, it's 1 o'clock.
Is it 1 o'clock? We got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
See if we get one more big one.
As a professional angler from Pittsgrove, New Jersey, go Ike for Mike Iaconelli. Season was in question coming in today, but look out, 5 fish today, 16 pounds, 7 ounces. Obviously, you see the brace on his arm. Was touch and go whether he was going to be able to fish with us this year, but it looks like that brace may have slowed him down, and those Florida cows are chewing.
3 days before I leave, this happens. I had doctors telling me, oh, that's a torn bicep. Like, we got to get you surgery. It's 8 to 12 weeks. And to be here, to be able to fish, dude, it's so fitting. Like, I couldn't think of a better way to start my 30th year than this right here.
Dude, I'm just grateful to be out here. You don't know what you have until it's gone. And I think the thought of not coming out here to compete in my 30th year was a miserable thought. So I'm out here and I'm happy.
A leader.
12 pound spinning tackle.
It felt like to me that the only thing it would hit was that light line. As soon as I started throwing that, I got bit. But it's definitely risky. All right, love you guys. That's something that never gets old, and I almost always call them good or bad. Sometimes when it's bad, I don't call them as much because I'm so pissed off. But I always call them, man. Before this journey started, dude, when I was fishing the Federation and the Redman tournaments and all that, like, they were supporting me. When this happened 30 years ago, they were supporting me. Here, you know, all these years later, they're supporting me, and they're so into it, you know? Like, dude, I can vividly remember, like, early on when, you know, buddies of mine, colleagues, people around the neighborhood were like, what's Mike want to do? What's he want to do? Oh, he wants to fish professionally. Bah! Or, what? he can't do that, you know. Oh, that's just for the Southern guys. And dude, my uncle, my mom, my grandparents, they were always like, go for it. You heard the shaking the minnow technique so fucking good. See how it rolls? See it rolling? That's at Berkeley. See how it rolls?
They can't resist it.
Can't resist it. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them attacking it. Look at them attacking it. This is jighead minnow right here, guys. This is the only bait you need. If you're a young fisherman and you're watching this, all you need is forward-facing sonar and a jighead minnow. Look at the carp. Look at them. Even the carp love it. Look at it. Look at it. Look. They can't stop eating it. I'm purposely not hooking them though, guys. Look. We're here. Morning time. Got the coffee. We're all packed. Got my brace. Got my lucky active target brace. And dude, it's cold. It's so cold outside. You can see your breath. And it's gonna be like a different day. So now it's gonna be interesting to go down there an hour and 15 minutes one way, thinking about it the whole way. Are they gonna bite? Did the cold front hurt them? What are they gonna do? And we're gonna go down there and try to figure it out. We need 10 or 11 or 12 pounds to make the cut. We need another 16 to 18 to advance even further up into the top 10. So let's see what happens.
Not sure it's going to be enough, Ike, but a decent finish here points-wise. I mean, the goal is always to be in the top 50, but if you're going to miss it, you just want to miss it by a few points.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, it was a question mark whether I was even going to be here. So to be able to come here and have, you know, a decent tournament under really tough conditions, I'm happy. So on to Okeechobee.
I mean, honestly, I'm very disappointed, you know. Came back from the tournament yesterday and honestly didn't even want to talk about it, you know, like almost needed the night to just decompress, you know. But it is the reality of the sport, you know, which is, dude, there's a lot of highs. Your first day was a great example of a high, and there's a lot of lows, you know, and the lows can be awfully low. But it depends how you look at it. I was able to fish this tournament with this arm, which I don't have my brace on because it stinks. I'm trying to air it out, but you know, the competitor in me is mad because literally it's, you know, one bite, it's one fish, it's, you know, it's less than that, you know, it's missed it by ounces, missed the cut by ounces. It's a little disheartening. Go back and look at like some of the tournaments I've won.
Yeah.
I won by a pound, less than a pound, right?
Let's wait for this to fucking.
Yeah. It's another Snoopy going
Yeah,
on.
another drone.
It's another drone. This is a Florida drone. See, they disguise these drones. They have airplane sounds, so you think they're airplanes, but that's actually a float plane. I just wanted to fish again. Just wanted another chance to get out and fish. And it's like, you know, I think it is testament to the fact that I just love fishing. You know, if I would have ended this tournament in 50th place and I went out today and made it and didn't catch a fish and ended up dead last, I was fishing, you know?
Yeah.
And today I got to do tackle, I got to do laundry, I got to get something worked on the boat, you know, it's like, but I do love to fish, and, you know, that I think that's part of it. You want to fish every day, you can fish. Dude, I'm here this year. This didn't keep me from fishing this week. It's not going to keep me from fishing next week. I've got my buddy with me this week, helping me document this year, which is a special thing, you know? So, like, there are the things you got to focus on. You can't focus on the negative. And again, at the end of the day, it wasn't a bad start. You know, it was an okay start to my 30th season.
You gonna fish small?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of this shit. Pennywort right here.
Take a look, folks. Take a look.
It's gonna be some pennywort. You know, that good weed.
Smells good.
Dude, it smells terrible. Smell this. And if you think that's dirty, check this out. Oh, my Marshall from today sent a video. Yo, Chuck, thanks.
Chuck Johnson, live.
Chuck Johnson.
You got to see. I wasn't able to be in the boat filming, but Chuck Johnson was there.
Yeah, I'm going to send this to Eric. You might actually see this in the final edit. Yeah! 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 Yes! Yeah! I love you, man. Thanks for hanging with me today. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I love you, man. Yeah! in my early days of my come up in the early 90s to late 90s, that was my come up when I was fishing professional events, grinding to get to be one of the guys at the top, right? That was my come up. I was different and strange and weird. I was from New Jersey. You know, there was all these, you know, rumblings of who the hell is this guy, you know? And dude, it was real. It was like a real breathing, living thing. It wasn't in my head. This was 97 that I fished here. And in that event on St. John's River, I ran up to Rodman. I locked it in the Rodman. And Rodman was drawn down. But different sport back then. They let us go. They didn't care. They're like, Rodman's down? Ah, fine, just go in. So Rodman was literally, once you got past the dam area and you got up the lake, it was literally just a creek. Dude, I loved it. Dude, it was Jersey fishing 101, dude. Just trout stream, current, eddies. I had a good first day, a good second day, and on the third day, I'm coming back. I got like 14 pounds, 15 pounds, good salt bag. The lock's closed, but I know the lock time, so I got like 10 minutes to fish. Dude, I can't just idle around. So I grab a jig, and I start pitching these pilings. And they're like teepee-shaped pilings, way, probably a quarter mile from the face of the lock. And dude, I pitch in there, and I was like, oh God. I catch like an 8-pounder. I'm screaming, I'm yelling. I call like, you know, I go from 14, 15 pounds to like 18, something ridiculous. And go to the lock, go lock in and end up in the top 10 for that invitational. Great finish. Flash forward to the second day of this tournament up in that little itsy bitsy creek. Mm-hmm. I get into it with Jim Bitter. Jim Bitter, dude, is an icon of bass at the time. I get into it with him about fishing an area. Not near him. He comes chasing me down. He's throwing his lure at me. Like the craziest thing. I had so many places that I just kind of went on, and that was that. But after I weigh in, I'm approached by someone from the bass staff, and, oh, you're being protested. I'm being protested for what? Oh, you fished in an off-limits area. You caught a big fish. You know, you were just outside of the lock, and that's an off-limits. And I'm like, no, I wasn't. I'm like, I've got my other angler, because invitational, pro on pro draws. Ask him, you know? You could ask him where I was at when I caught it. Make a long story short, dude, the guy's protest at me was Walt Reynolds, who was buddies with Jim Bitter. They already paid me. They already gave me my points. They've talked to my guy. I've showed them on the map where I caught it, and they still want me to come in. So there was one tournament left the rest of the year. I had to go in and take the polygraph before I could fish this last tournament. So I had to like go out of my way, drive to Montgomery, and take this polygraph. And dude, I never will forget the feeling of being set up, like walking in. The smugness and from some of the people there, from Dewey, and from this polygraph professional. You know, yeah, like I'm a little nervous, you know, like I feel like I'm being set up here, you know? And like go under this polygraph, like just like you see in the movies, but old school. And so he's gone through the questions, you know, this, did you catch that fish, you know, in off limits, you know, this and that, and did you, you know, no, and you know, what? No, you talk, you know, and I'm just like nervous but baffled, you know?
Right.
Okay, you know, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it was, and I leave, and I head to the next tournament, you know? And I get a call that you failed the polygraph. And dude, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking because you got to remember, dude, like I'm working for my dream to become a pro. And, you know, like it's the rug's being ripped out from under me, not just from these guys that don't accept me, but from the organization itself that I'm trying to make it through. And dude, I remember we talked about it already, but I remember, you know, that so low feeling of, you know, like, man, why do I want to do this? They hate me. They don't want me here. You know, like, everything's pointing for me to not, like, why am I continuing to do this? And I remember just like the drive, you know, after I got the word, the drive, and just these thoughts. And I'm like, nah, dude, nah, I'm doing this shit.
No! No! Never give up! Never give up!